Mouser stride that I like. Hey, what's up, you guys? Shartimus Prime here doing another Hot Toys figure review on the Hot Toys Iron Man 3 Tony Stark Mark 42 Autonomous Prehensile Propulsion Suit Test Version Movie Masterpiece MMS 19116 Scale Collectible Figure. Damn it, that's a mouthful. Ah, man. Big thanks to MarvelousNews.com. This is my birthday gift. Thank you so much, JC. Very, very much appreciated. Very, very awesome piece. It comes with a ton of stuff, man. It is incredible, dude. If you're trying to pick this figure up, it is available now at Big Bad Toy Store.
Big. Get your big badass toys at BigBadToyStore.com. Click the link in the description below.
The packaging for this thing is enormous, man. It's over 20 inches wide. Very, very cool picture right here on the front of the box. On the top of the box says Iron Man 3. On the bottom it says Iron Man 3. On the side, Iron Man 3, Tony Stark, MMS 191. On the back over here we have Tony Stark, and then it says warning, adult collectible, not a toy, recommended for ages 15 and up. Just so you can see how massive this is the Hot Toys Thor right over here. That's the Tony Stark, and there's the Hulk box. So you want to go ahead and lift this thing up like so, and you know, if you're lucky, it'll just sink down for you. And then we have the actual picture of the Tony Stark figure, and then here's all the credits. These guys are amazing, amazing artists over here. Fantastic work. And then you lift this piece up and you say, hey, somebody took my Tony Stark. This figure comes with a ton of stuff. As you can see, he has this cool base. You get the Tony Stark figure. There's a ton of interchangeable pieces and everything that I'm going to show off later on. You get the table over there with a bunch of pieces over there. You get the Android thingy that helps him out or always screws things up. But there's one thing that I want to add to this awesome display that I feel like it's missing that's just going to kick it up a notch a little bit. Doesn't that look a little bit more badass or what? Come on, man, that is sick. So I added the Hasbro Mark 1 through 4 Iron Man figures. Those are 1/12 scale figures. And the Marvel Select Mark 42 and Iron Patriot bases back over there. I just love how this looks. It looks a little bit more complete to me. I'm really, really stoked. So much to the point where I've lost my damn mind. Ah, this is so badass! This is so awesome! But anyway, let's get to all the details that the actual Hot Toys figure set comes with. It does come with this instruction booklet that you can see here. This base is absolutely amazing. Now, it takes a little bit of time to put this thing together. It does take 3 AAA batteries. You're going to need one of these tiny screwdriver thingies right here. Wow, that's a nasty looking screwdriver. Has a little button right here. Push this down right so, and you can see it light up. Looks very, very cool. I love the sculpt and the paint detail on this altogether. It is fantastic. There's actually a part of it right here where I thought there was actual dirt on the figure, but it's part of the damn sculpting. That's like that's when you know you got some serious stuff going on right here, where you think it's actual dirt, but nope, it's really just painted on there. That is beautiful. Love that. Right on the steps right over there. These vent things right here are very, very nice. And even these screws over here, man. Look at that. There's like weathering on them. And you even see some weathering on the edge over here. A lot of paint detail on just the base itself. These cables that come in here and they connect, and you can set these up any way you want. They're attached at the bottom when you open the figure, and there's a mini twisty tie thing, and you just plug these into these ports. I suggest going from 4 to 1, you know, because I did this other one over here that goes like from 1 to 1 and it doesn't look as good to me. I think it looks a little better going like this. This whole cardboard disc thingy right here, it's a bunch of little different pieces, and then you just connect it together, and I think you can put tape at the bottom so you don't have to deal with taking it apart and putting it together every time, but I just think this looks fantastic. You connect over here, the seams are hidden by the steps, and then these parts coming off on the sides, so it looks like a solid disc when it's actually not. The base does come with a flight stand, so you can see the hole right here. Here's the flight stand, so it's this clip thingy right here. Nice soft material right there in the middle, very clear, and it just plugs in like so. You can see how big that is. And if you loosen this up with a small screwdriver, you can move it up and down. And then we also get the mechanical robot, or dummy as Tony tends to call him, and oh my gosh, look at the paint shading on here. That is fantastic. All the wires in this, these are actual working pistons over here. This looks great, man. Looks like it's made out of actual metal, especially the claw over here. Look at that, even the grip. The wheels fully rotate and they spin, but it's kind of tight. This one spins actually okay. So, I don't know, yeah, when I get it to roll right here, the not all the wheels really move. Not a big deal though. Like you got these white wires right over here and the black wires. Just a very, very nice piece. You can get a lot of movement out of this thing. It rotates right here at the bottom, which is awesome. Like I said, these pistons work over here, so you can get it to function like that, which is really, really, really cool. I dig that. You can make it move down and up, which is very sick. And then you can turn it side to side right here, and you don't want to move it too far because you have these wires that are connected over here, but you can make it turn left and right like so. He actually bends right here at the neck, which is great, and then he rotates all the way 360 right here at the very end. And then of course the claws are articulated, so you can move these all the way out and you can move them all the way in. I gotta say, one nice little touch would have been if he came with a dunce cap. Here's the little handy cam he comes with. Very nice. This thing is so tiny. Look at that. Very, very cool. Even got this clear plastic at the end, so it really looks like a lens. And then you got the record button and stuff right in the middle right there, a little viewfinder. And you could open and close this too. And then we get this table right here that comes with all these other pieces. This rolls pretty well, which is nice, and the wheels churn, which is very cool. I really love the metallic paint on this. It is very cool. It looks so damn realistic. There's all these little parts right here. This looks like a hand that's supposed to be like for a Mark IV, and you can attach it to the Tony Stark figure too if you want him to put this on. It actually has double jointed fingers right here, and it bends at the knuckle too, so it's really cool. They articulated the hell out of this thing. I think that's really, really neat. Really love this metallic red paint. Looks great. This looks like a knee pad kind of piece. I don't know exactly what this is. I believe this is like a neck piece right here. You get like a Mark IV or 6 or 7 helmet, which looks great. God, I love the paint that they use on these things. Even the little screws have black wash in there. Thing's very cool. He has clear eyes. And you can't put this on the Tony Stark head, which kind of sucks. Or actually, it would have been cooler if he came with a Mark 42 helmet. That would have been really nice. And you get this faceplate over here. Nice detail again. And then you get the inside, or the hub, right over here, which is amazing. Look at that. A little gold paint in there. That metallic brown kind of look. Ah, that is too cool. Damn, that is awesome. We got these Mark 42 pieces right here, which look really nice. I really like that blue metallic paint right in there. This looks like it's supposed to be part of an arm. I guess this part right here is supposed to be a leg. Again, with the blue metallic paint. Just beautiful look, man. And then coming around the top of the table over here, there's a bunch more stuff. We get this mini HT magazine. It says Expo Review in there. Iron Man Peace to America. And then you open up this magazine and it has text in here that you could actually read. Genius, billionaire, playboy, philanthropist, Tony Stark. And it has a table of contents and stuff. Look at that. This is amazing, man. Hot Toys. Jeez. Just killing it. Look at all that. What's next for Tony Stark? What's next for Iron Man? And then this cool, your money never stopped growing. We get this Phillips head screwdriver right here, which is very nice. We get a pair of tin snips right over here. They're actually made out of metal and they are functional. And we get a pair of pliers also. Again, metal and functional. We get these 2 sets of random wires, so if you really want like wires sticking out of the helmet or one of the leg pieces or something like that, you can mess with that. Then we get 3 blueprints, which are very nice. I really like these things. There's a second one right there, so that's for the Mark 7, and then we get this one right here. So all 3 of them are Mark 7 prototypes. And at last we get to Tony Stark. Very, very cool head sculpt. Now, first off, I have to say, I did see Sean Long and Optibotimus's reviews on this guy, and when I saw those reviews and I saw the face sculpt, I thought to myself, man, that don't look like Tony Stark. But then now I actually got it right in front of me, it really does look like Robert Downey Jr. It just really depends on what kind of angle you capture it, I guess. I don't know. I really think they have the profile down. I really think it looks like him. I think this is a very, very cool, accurate likeness to Tony Stark or Robert Downey Jr. Just see how realistic the eyes look over here. That is very cool. It's even got some added wrinkles. The face tone and, you know, the face paint and everything. It's just great. You got his beard and his goatee and the detail in the mouth. Paint detail in the hair and everything is absolutely fantastic. Look at all that. You get that nice mix right over there. The guy's pumped down very good. Very mini pompadour. Looks sharp, man. Damn. Tony comes with this Vegeta Visor right here. So you can see the clear plastic right over here. And this is very, very nice. Look at all these little rivets sculpted in there. Very, very cool. And you just slip this over his head. Kind of want to be careful about it. And it just fits on like so. Very nice. I like that a lot. Then you get his sports t-shirt over here. Very cool. I like this. Now you can see right there he does have the arc reactor. You can see it kind of sticking through his chest over here. So what you want to do is there's a tab that comes in underneath in the back right here. You have to peel off that plastic tab. It's kind of plugged in there so that the battery, or so that the thing doesn't go off. And then you lift up over here, which I actually don't find it necessary. The instructions tell you to lift up the shirt all the way, but I haven't really done that. You can see he has, I don't know, wife beater underneath here or something, but you can feel that there's a button right here. You can see that it's kind of like a big zit on his back. You want to push this all the way down, and then boom, you get the arc reactor going. Turning the lights off, you can see it looks way better. That is incredible. Ah, so impressive. Very, very nice. Like that a lot. Yeah, you can actually see his man nipples coming through the shirt. But anyway, he has arms over here that do have exposed joints that actually, you know, it really doesn't bother me too much. But I think the paint detail on it, again, consistently awesome. They have this hand right here. He actually comes with 3 different pairs of human hands. So you get the fist hand right there. You get this tool grabbing hand right over here. Very nice. And then you get this relaxed hand over here. So it comes with a total of 6 human hands. Now to me the coolest function of this figure is the removable gauntlets. So you want to plug this off over here. Well, I took the hand out, but you're just going to plug this off over here. Like so. And you take this nubby guy right over here and you jam him right there. There's a magnet right here underneath, and you get his gauntlet right over there, and you just attach it like so, and I think that is cool. This thing is painted so damn well. I really, really like it. The other cool thing is that you can turn this switch right here, and it turns on. Man, that is very, very bright. Very nice paint job on this and everything. I just think it came out looking beautiful. Very nice piece. Now it does come with 3 sets of Iron Man hands too, which is super cool. So you just pop this off over here, and this wrist piece right here tilts up for this specific set of hands, and there's one for each side. So this one's tilting upward. This is a repulsor blast hand right here. Then you can just remove this, just slip this out, take that off like so, and you put the flat one in, and I like how they have the R and L written on each of these, and you can just slip this one right back in, and then plug this in right here. And this is more like a regular hand for the Mark 42 Iron Man. And you turn the switch and it still works over here. And both of those hands have double jointed finger articulation, which is incredible. I love that. You can get articulation right here on the thumb. It is just, I love finger articulation, and I just think this is so badass that they did this. You can get that Pepper Potts pleasure pose. You can make a fist with this guy. But if you don't feel like doing that, you can switch it out for the actual fist. And that's the 3rd set of hands, is a fist. So you just plug that right in like so, and there you go. And you still get some light coming in right there, some red light. That is too cool. I really like that. So coming around at the rest of the figure, he has these nice Dickies pants. It looks like Dickies pants. They tend to get a little wrinkly as you put the boots on, but not a big deal. And the shoes came out very, very nice. A lot of detail in the shoes of this guy. Damn, even the treads. Oh God, look at the treads. They look great. It looks like there's some dirt right there in the creases. That is so awesome. Here's a look at the back of the figure. So you can see he has butt pockets up there and everything. I'm going to go over the articulation in his Tony Stark form, and then we'll put the boots on. So the head does move quite a bit. You can get the head to look up like so, plus there's a neck joint in here, and that can make him tilt back a little bit. So that looks like as far as you're going to get it to look upwards. You can make him move down quite a bit too, which is very cool. You can make him look side to side, and you get a bit of a pivot right here, which is very nice. I like that a lot. His shoulders move up like so. They move outward as well. There is a shoulder joint right in there that moves forward and back. There's a little bit of a bicep swivel in here too. It's a little tricky to move, but it is there. He has a single jointed elbow, and then that rotates at the elbow as well. He has wrists that move up and down, and they rotate side to side. Even though he does have the arc reactor in here, he does have an ab crunch, which I think is amazing that they did that. That is so cool. And it rotates right here. So you can see I'm holding it down at the belly button. And then right here at the waist, it crunches forward and back too, and it rotates side to side a bit at the waist, but not too much at the waist. He has legs that move outward. You can move them outward that much. They move forward. You can move them upward that much. He has double jointed knees, and they bend very far in. His ankles move down, up, and he actually does have an ankle pivot. I'm so happy with the ankle pivot. And you can move it side to side too. So the last thing we have to show off here are his boots, which came out looking great over here. And then here's the foot to it and everything. Love the paint detail on these. So cool. There's not the paint detail, but the paint choices. You know what I mean? They do have black painted in all the seams like all the other parts. It just looks fantastic. Really, really like it. Now, getting these on, it's a little on the tricky side, I gotta say. Not as fun as I hoped. So what you do is you just pop the foot off over here, and then there we go. You get the leg, which I don't understand why this is made like this, but I guess maybe so you don't break anything. But you pop the foot off like that, then you're going to want to plug this right back in. Then one thing to mention for me is on the right leg, popping it off, they get the peg stuck in the foot right there, which is kind of annoying, and I end up having to use these to pluck it out in order to interchange the feet. And he does come with extra wrist pegs, but I wish he did come with extra ankle pegs. So you're supposed to use this plastic tool right here to help you out. It says Hot Toys right there. Anyway, you want to kind of clump this up like so. I tend to twist it up like that, and then try to slide it over here, and then what you're supposed to do is, you know, use this thing to jam it in here. And to be honest with you, it doesn't really work out that well. I don't know. I'm just not a huge fan of it. It's kind of working. It's kind of not. It says you're supposed to pull the cloth down from the bottom, but it just doesn't really work out too well for me. And then you take the foot and plug it right into the peg, and there you go. Damn, that looks sick. That is awesome, man. Now this Mark 42 boot does have articulation. The heel does pop up like that, which is very nice. And then this lifts up a little bit over here, so you get some movement over here, and this shifts back and forth right there. So you can still move it up and down, and you get the ankle pivot still, and it rotates side to side. So that's great that that ball joint still works. You do get some clumpage right here with the cloth, and it does come out a little wrinkly, but due to this nice fabric over here, it's not too bad. It does straighten out over time. And here he is, as suited up as this particular figure gets. So you can see the arc reactor going on still there. So he comes with the arms and the legs. I actually wish, I know it would have cost like $200 more, and this is already a very expensive piece, but it would have been so cool if they just had everything just attached to him. That would have been spectacular. But this is still very amazing. Kind of feel like a douche, you know, kind of making gripes about a Hot Toys figure, but hey, still, very, very cool. This is just beautiful, man. This being a 1/6 scale figure, it is no surprise that the figure stands at 1 foot tall. And here's Tony Stark compared to the Avengers Thor Hot Toys figure, and the first Avenger Captain America, and of course the Avengers Hulk, who's just towering over everybody even though he's pretty far back there. So he's a little shorter than Cap and Thor. And here's Sony compared to the Marvel Legends Big Time Letdown Spider-Man. So again, I cannot sing this figure's praises enough. It is absolutely phenomenal. I can't think of enough adjectives. I totally recommend it. Now, it is expensive. It does come with a lot of stuff. So you're looking at about $300 for this guy. But I think the price is totally worth this. Again, this was a gift. Thank you so much. MarvelousNews.com. Check them out. Again, for all the latest in Marvel-related news. I hope you guys like my review, and I will catch you later. Peace. That last one should work, right?